Council member Mathieu Eugene partners with Maimonides Medical Center to host a free stroke symposium and dinner.
How are you, sir? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. I saw you already. I saw you already. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, man. So, brother, how are you? You guys? Nice to meet you. I know that because it's in your house. Thank you for,
Thanks. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. My brothers and sisters, Reverend Pastor Dr. Johnson, and to the distinguished doctors, Dr. Ron and Dr. Zamofen, thank you so very much. And as you know, my name is Mathieu Eugene, and I'm the New York City Council member representing District 40. That's mean the district where you are at right now. It is a pleasure and privilege for me to welcome you to this very important event, very important symposium. And I think that the doctors are going to talk about the importance of this symposium later on. Before I speak any further, I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, all my staff, all the members of my staff work very hard to make this possible. But it couldn't be possible also without the kindness and the understanding of a God servant, a community servant. That's the reason why I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, on my behalf, on behalf of the district, and on behalf of this community, and on behalf of the great city of New York, I want to thank Reverend Dr. Michael Johnson. Put your hands together for me. Thank you so much. Thank you. When I called the church and I said, I want to organize the stroke symposium, they didn't take time to answer me and to say, Council member, you're welcome, please let's do it. And I had a very productive, constructive conversation with Dr. Johnson. We were talking about the community. We were talking about the issues facing the community. And he said that, Council member, I want to work together in order for us to address the issues that the community faces. And Doc, thank you so very much. And may God continue to bless you, and may you continue to be a blessing for all of us. Thank you so very much. Thank you. You know that we are working very hard in New York City. It is serious. It is not a game. New York City, when you live in New York City, regardless of what you are doing, you work very hard. But especially doctors, they work too hard. Too hard. Especially those who are, taking care of emergency medicine, like in stroke and surgery. They work very hard. Some of the time, they have to stand on their feet for hours. But in the weekend, people, love to stay home with the family and go to churches, to synagogue. They want to take some time to relax and to go back strong tomorrow, because tomorrow they have to work. But some doctors know that they don't take a break, also they work up during the weekend too. I think that we are blessed and privileged to have two brilliant doctors, two excellent doctors, doing a wonderful job, saving people's life, to come over here to inform us about stroke, a very important, devastating disease, very serious disease. And I want also to thank them from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank Dr. Daniel Sumofen and Dr. Tony Wang. I thank them also on my behalf, on behalf of all of you, and also on behalf of the great city of New York. Give them a big round of applause. Let me say something about the history of this medical symposium. You know, there is a great hospital in New York City. Of course, it is located in Brooklyn, but it serves New York City and beyond. Maimonides Medical Center. Who knows Maimonides Medical Center? Very good. Let me tell you, Maimonides Medical Center is one of the top, if not the top, in treating stroke. The doctor will talk about that later on, because they are the experts, you know. They know more than I do. Maimonides and myself, we have been collaborating and providing to the people in Flatbush access to the best quality of healthcare. And some of the time, access to free screening and free medical treatment. And I was not elected official at the time. I'm talking about 10 years or probably 15 years before I was elected. And that was possible because of a wonderful human being, the wonderful God's Son. He cannot be here today. I'm very sorry he cannot be here today because his health condition doesn't allow him to come here. I'm talking about Douglas Jablon. When you meet this gentleman, you want to love him as a brother. He works so hard for everybody. He doesn't have to know you. And I believe that's the reason he's so sick. He doesn't think about himself. He's very dedicated, to help people. I've been serving this community, providing access to quality of health because of Douglas Jablon. Receiving all the support, the assistance, in collaboration from Maimonides Medical Center. I remember one time I was running for office, and I was in a radio talk show, live. Somebody called and said, Dr. Eugene, I'm going to come to vote for you, and I'm going to bring all my family to vote for you because you saved my life. I said, what is he talking about? The reason he said that, I remember we had a medical symposium on colorectal cancer at Holy Cross School, at Holy Innocent School, Beverly Road and East 17th Street, way before I was elected. And I was not doing it for politics, I'm telling you honestly. I said, you say I saved your life. What are you talking about? He told me that he was one of the persons who attended the medical symposium on colorectal cancer. But after that symposium, Maimonides Medical Center give everybody the opportunity to go for screening for free and give them opportunities for treatment for free, regardless of immigration status and regardless also of ability to pay. This gentleman was one of the patients. He had what we call polyps. If you don't remove the polyps, that can be, become cancer. And he told me that now he's there with his family because of the medical symposium. I'm sharing that with you to see that Maimonides Medical Center and myself, we have been doing this type of event for many years. And that's the reason why I wanted to put your hand together for all the people, the leadership of Maimonides Medical Center, please. Now I'm going to call our brother, Reverend Dr. Michael Johnson, to do the invocation and also to welcome you.
It's good to see all of you here, and it's a joy to welcome you here at John Huss Moravian Church. Here we see that our hearts, doors, and arms are always wide open, and we really mean that. And we are bent in, we don't believe that we are at this location by accident. We believe that God has placed us here for a reason, and part of that reason is being of service to our community. And we were very happy to have had this opportunity, this collaborative opportunity with Councilman Mathieu Eugene and the Maimonides Hospital. And we wanted to know that if there are other persons who are here and you have ideas as to how we might be able to assist the community, we are always open to that. But welcome, and I hope that you feel so welcome here that you do not want to leave. And we worship, main worship services on Sundays at 11 o'clock, just in case. Rejoice and be glad in it. We're grateful, Lord, for your blessings. You are the great healer. You are the one, Lord, who provides wisdom for those who are engaged in the profession of healing. We're thankful, Lord, for all those who work to put on this symposium, which is especially meaningful and important for our demographic, which has stroke as scourge. So many persons are affected. But we know, dear Lord, that with education, we might be on the road to better, first of all, taking care of ourselves, but being able to recognize the important signs of a stroke and being able to intervene and act in ways which can help to remediate those situations. We pray, Lord, that all that has been planned for this evening will go very well. And when we leave from here, we feel that we are well informed, well armed, and ready to take on what life throws at us. We pray, Lord, for those who are dealing with the effects of stroke, praying that they will have that sense of courage and hope to believe that though affected in this way, that there are opportunities for moving forward. So we pray again, Lord, that this will be a blessed time together. We pray also that you will bless the meal that will be provided, and you'll bless us all to your service as we pray in your name. Amen.
Reverend Pastor Johnson, thank you. Now, please join me to welcome Dr. Tony Wong, who is going to start the symposium and who will introduce also our good friend, Dr. Zolofan. Please welcome Dr. Wong.
Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me? Yes. Good. First of all, I want to thank the councilman, pastor, and every member of the church community to give us this great, wonderful opportunity to talk about a condition that's dear to our heart, that affects millions of people in the country, in the world, that actually is preventable, treatable. So, my name is Dr. Tony Wong. I'm a board-certified stroke neurologist. So, stroke is divided actually in large category into two types. One is called ischemic type, the other one is hemorrhagic type. What is ischemic stroke? Ischemic stroke is defined by losses of neurologic function due to decreased or loss of blood supply to the brain, the retina, or spinal cord. That definition has been actually updated to the symptoms caused by the loss of blood flow to the brain, spinal cord, or retina usually resolve within 1 hour these days, and without imaging findings of acute infarction, which is defined as stroke. So that's the transient neurological attack, transient ischemic attack, TIA. Next, please. The type of hemorrhagic stroke can be divided into subarachnoid hemorrhage, SH, which is bleeding around the brain inside the skull. Intracerebral hemorrhage, which is bleeding into the tissue of the brain, which can actually sometimes go into the ventricles inside the brain, which is housing the cerebrospinal fluid. Sometimes there could be bleeding that occurs between the layers of coverage of the brain. And you can also see the combination of hemorrhage between these two, especially in the case of neurotrauma. Next, please. This is one of the most important slides that you should remember, is symptoms and mimics of strokes. So stroke comes in a very complex symptomatology, partly because any parts of the brain can be affected, can give you different symptom combinations. For example, weakness, numbness, aphasia, which is difficulty to initiate understanding speech, or slurrings of speech, dysarthria, visual changes, or dark blurred vision, or double vision sometimes, including also gaze deviation, facial droop, neglect, dizziness, unsteady gait, severe headaches, nausea, vomiting. However, besides stroke, a number of other conditions or diseases can also cause similar symptoms. So, how can you differentiate stroke from the other conditions such as migraine with aura, seizures, toxic metabolic or hypertensive encephalopathy, or PRES, posterior reversible encephalopathy syndrome, or RCVS, reversible cerebral vasoconstriction syndrome, TTA, transient tumor attack? Malignancy in the brain actually can present like stroke symptoms, right? Infection in the brain, or spinal cord, multiple sclerosis, demyelinating disorders. Lastly, conversion or malignant disorder are sometimes trying to fake the symptoms of stroke. How can you differentiate those from real stroke? You leave it up to us, the neurologists, to determine with imaging studies. Next, please. So the mechanism of stroke or cause of stroke is also diverse. For example, atrial with a cardiac arrhythmia can predispose the person to have clot formed in the heart. When the clot is breaking off, goes to the brain, it can cause stroke. Right? Similarly, for congestive heart failure, vasculitis, blood vessel inflammation, head neck trauma, or carotid, cervical blood vessel, or intracranial inside the brain vessels blockage because of your hypertension, diabetes, your cholesterol under control, your aging process, right? Those can lead to decreased blood flow to the brain, cause stroke or blocked flow, right? In addition to other conditions, they're talking about large or small vessel stroke, arteriovenous stroke, embolic or hemodynamic. But oftentimes, not uncommonly, up to 25 to 30% of the time, after extensive workup of these stroke patients, we couldn't identify any reason that we can hang our heads on. Why did this person have stroke? Those patients are called so-called cryptogenic stroke patients. We don't have a clear reason. We still have to put them on medication to prevent secondary stroke, but we'll put them on a kind of high watch list.
Really high-tech in our ORs. Still, on the lower right-hand side, you see the surgeon. He would use all these technologies to guide him and to make the procedure more safe, more efficient for the patients. Next slide. This is maybe the most important one. Still, we use technology in neurosurgery. Technology helps us a lot, but in the end of the day, it's still handmade. It's like watchmaking. It's precision work. No computer. We use computer, we use robots, but even robots nowadays are unable to have the same dexterity to be as precise, and it's like a perfect Swiss watch. My favorite instrument in the operating room is the watchmaker forceps, and it's handmade craftsmanship even nowadays. Next slide. So, when I started neurosurgery a decade ago, this was our good procedure, really high-tech in our ORs. Still, on the lower right-hand side, you see the surgeon. He would use all these technologies to guide him and to make the procedure more safe, more efficient for the patients. Next slide. This is maybe the most important one. Still, we use technology in neurosurgery. Technology helps us a lot, but in the end of the day, it's still handmade. It's like watchmaking. It's precision work. No computer. We use computer, we use robots, but even robots nowadays are unable to have the same dexterity to be as precise, and it's like a perfect Swiss watch. My favorite instrument in the operating room is the watchmaker forceps, and it's handmade craftsmanship even nowadays. On the left, you see that I took care to draw the incision line behind the hairline. I tried to achieve a nice cosmetic result because the hairs would grow back and you wouldn't see anything. Still, it's pretty big. That's the top right side. Lower left-hand side, over the years, I tried to make it smaller to bring it down to the essential. The next slide. This is a technology I guess I developed over the last few years, and it's really trying to bring it to the essential, making just a 1-inch skin incision just between the hairlines, and using in fact computers, navigation, technology to make a keyhole, a very small hole right at the good spot. And this is where technology comes in. Next slide. You can make it even a bit more fancy, and in fact, instead of cutting over the skull, why don't you use the eyebrows? And you make a small incision right in the eyebrow, and you use your computer to guide you right to the good spot, and you use your watchmaker forceps to dissect the brain and take the tumor or the vascular disease out. And you see on the right-hand side, the cosmetic result, in fact, is pretty good.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Zomofren. Thank you so very much. Please give a big round of applause again. Before, now the doctors, they are willing to answer some questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and I will come to you. But before we go to that process, because it was very touching when the doctor asked if you know somebody suffer from stroke, or if you have had a stroke, raise your hand. Could you do that again for me? Raise your hand. You see how many people in the audience? I'm board serving, an elected official. I introduced a piece of legislation in the city of New York to ask the city of New York to have a week for Stroke Awareness Day in New York City. And the legislation passed, the city of New York overwhelmed. And actually, myself and the doctors, and also Maimonides Hospital, we are working together to create a comprehensive, a very important program in New York City for all the hospitals in New York City to work together to prevent stroke. And I'm advocating the city of New York for the speaker and for the city council members to put the funding to do that. The reason I'm saying that, we elected officials who work every single day. We are advocating for affordable housing, for job for people, for education, for justice. But you know what? Guess what? If the people are not healthy, those things don't have any value. You may be powerful, beautiful, intelligent. If you are not healthy, forget about it. And I think the most precious gift that we receive from God is health. And I believe our doctors, they are doing God's work. Put your hands together for God. You know that stroke is a very devastating disease. But the good news is we can treat or prevent, we can prevent about 80% of the strokes. Very important. Times is life when you are facing stroke. Don't say, I'm going to take a Tylenol. I'm going to take aspirin. No, please. You saw the sign when you think that you are going to have a stroke. Call 911. Time is precious. Go quick. Quick. And number two, that's a good question. Number two, the reason we are doing this also, the way to prevent it, take care of your blood pressure. Follow the instruction that the doctors give you. Because the best medicine is what? Prevention.
Talking about the etiologies of stroke, etiology, you know. Yeah. So in case of cryptogenic stroke, what would be your approach?
My approach. So our knowledge about research about making stroke is still limited. We knew a lot about how people get strokes. We try to identify these risk factors and mechanism to mitigate this risk. But there's still so much that we don't know. That's why the so-called cryptogenic stroke, it only means our limitation of knowledge is still incomplete. Right? There'll be 20, 25, 30% of people, sometimes young people, we have no clue why they have stroke. That's why research is important to identify. And actually, Maimonides, we actually participating in multiple clinical trials. We're having actually biomarkers being developed through proteomic approach, basically analyze patient serum to see any markers that correlate with strokes when they have an onset. That's something we're trying to do, kind of screening and then actually to identify any potential targets. We can use either as such as troponin for the cardiac myocardial function. We can use markers to identify strokes before they strike, right? To study why they have stroke at that time. For example, someone has genetic disorder. They have that genetic disorder all their lives. Why did they develop stroke at that moment?